On Monday, April 14, 2026, the ground shook violently 72 kilometers east of Reno, Nevada, magnitude 5.7, one of the 7 largest earthquakes recorded in Nevada in the past 60 years. The shaking lasted 20 to 30 seconds. Furniture toppled, dishes shattered. In Silver Springs, merchandise cascaded off shelves at the local dollar store. Residents reported the ground rolling beneath them like waves on a pond, and it was felt as far away as San Francisco. Then the aftershocks started, 38 of them above magnitude 2.5. Within 12 hours of the main shock, northern Nevada had recorded 90 earthquakes. Within days, that number climbed higher. This wasn't a single earthquake, it was a swarm, and it happened on a fault system that most Americans have never heard of. A 600-mile-long network of active faults running along the Nevada-California border, a system that seismologists compare directly to the San Andreas, a system that accommodates a significant portion of the tectonic motion between 2 of the Earth's largest plates, a system that runs directly through major American cities that have no earthquake early warning infrastructure at all. This is Walker Lane, and after this week, it deserves a lot more attention than it gets. Let's start with exactly what the swarm looked like on the ground. April 14th, 2026, approximately 7:22 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. The main shock struck 20 kilometers east-southeast of Silver Springs in Lyon County, Nevada, a moderately shallow rupture along the Walker Lane shear zone. Magnitude 5.7, over 590,000 people living within 100 kilometers of the epicenter. The shaking was felt across a significant portion of western Nevada and eastern California. Residents of Reno reported furniture moving. Residents of Carson City reported items falling from shelves. Felt reports extended to the San Francisco Bay Area, more than 300 kilometers from the epicenter. The University of Nevada Reno Seismology Lab registered the main shock as a large, dark splotch on their monitoring equipment. Their term. The digital recording shows the main shock, then a smaller aftershock, then another and another, cascading through the next several hours. Within 12 hours, 90 earthquakes were recorded across northern Nevada. 38 of those were magnitude 2.5 or above. The largest aftershock was itself a 5.7. Damage was limited. Some merchandise off shelves, some furniture displaced. No major structural failures reported in the initial assessments. The shaking was significant, but the rupture characteristics and the relatively sparse population of Lyon County kept the consequences manageable. But here's the important context. The damage was limited this time. The magnitude was moderate. The fault that produced this swarm is capable of earthquakes that would be orders of magnitude worse. And the seismologists who study it are not dismissive of what happened this week. They're using it as a warning. Are you in Reno, Carson City, Tahoe, or anywhere in the western USA? Drop your location below. We want to know who was watching this earthquake happen in real time. Ask any American to name the most dangerous fault in the United States. They'll say the San Andreas. Some will mention Cascadia. A few might know New Madrid. Almost nobody will say Walker Lane. But Walker Lane is one of the most active fault systems in the country, a 600-mile network running from Death Valley in the south through the eastern side of the Sierra Nevada, past Lake Tahoe, and north toward Oregon. A system that accommodates a major portion of the tectonic motion between the Pacific and North American plates. Together with the San Andreas, Walker Lane manages the plate boundary across the western United States. The San Andreas takes the majority of the motion. Walker Lane takes a significant portion of the rest. It's not a single fault, it's a zone, predominantly right lateral strike-slip faults, consistent with the shear motion between the two plates. Inside that zone are specific faults that have produced major earthquakes historically and are capable of producing them again. The Polaris Fault runs through Truckee, California, capable of magnitude 6.5 or greater. The Carson City Fault runs directly through Nevada's state capital. The Genoa Fault, capable of magnitude 7. The faults that bound Lake Tahoe on multiple sides, capable of magnitude 6.5 or greater. The East Truckee Fault Zone, the Mount Rose Fault. Dozens of mapped and unmapped segments, all accommodating plate motion, all building stress over time, all capable of releasing that stress as earthquakes. The seismologist running Nevada's primary monitoring operation put it this way: Walker Lane is probably the most seismically active part of Nevada. Not necessarily where the largest earthquakes have occurred, but where the most earthquakes occur. That second half of the sentence is where the alarm should be. It's not where the largest earthquakes have been, it's where the next largest earthquake is most likely to happen. Nevada ranks third in the United States for seismic activity, behind only California and Alaska. Despite this ranking, Nevada does not have the Shake Alert earthquake early warning system that operates in California, Oregon, and Washington. When an earthquake strikes a fault in Walker Lane, residents of Nevada receive no advance warning, no automated alerts to their phones, no systems to slow trains, no protocols to shut off gas lines, no pause signals to surgical operations. The shaking arrives first. Awareness arrives second. Contrast this with California, where Shake Alert provides tens of seconds of advance warning before damaging shaking reaches population centers. Those seconds save lives. They prevent injuries, they reduce infrastructure damage. Nevada does not have that system, and the seismic characteristics of Western Nevada make the absence more significant. Walker Lane produces both strike slip and normal faulting. Strike slip produces strong horizontal shaking. Normal faulting produces strong vertical shaking. Unlike California's predominantly horizontal motion, Nevada earthquakes can throw objects vertically with significant force. Objects don't slide, they launch. Building construction in Nevada's rapidly growing metropolitan regions has not always accounted for the specific motion profile that Walker Lane produces. Modern seismic construction standards have improved, but significant older construction remains. The historical record underscores the risk. In 1954, the Dixie Valley Fairview Peak sequence produced 3 magnitude 6.6 or greater earthquakes in a single year. That clustering occurred on Walker Lane faults. For 66 years after that event, Nevada experienced no major earthquakes above magnitude 6.5. Not because the fault system was inactive, because strain was accumulating. In 2020, the Monte Cristo Range magnitude 6.5 earthquake ended that 66-year gap. Now, in 2026, we have the Silver Spring Swarm. The seismologist running the UNR lab, the person whose job is specifically to monitor these faults, made a direct statement after the swarm. She said she would not be surprised to see a larger earthquake in this region in the future. That is not a throwaway line. That is the professional geological assessment of the person responsible for understanding exactly what these faults are doing. One specific consequence of Walker Lane activity is worth discussing because it changes the shape of the hazard picture considerably. Lake Tahoe. The lake sits in a tectonic basin created by faults on multiple sides. Those bounding faults, particularly on the western and eastern sides of the lake, are capable of magnitude 6.5 or greater earthquakes. When those faults eventually rupture, the consequences extend well beyond ground shaking. Lake Tahoe contains an enormous volume of water at high elevation. A significant earthquake beneath or adjacent to the lake can trigger several cascading effects simultaneously. Submarine landslides within the lake as shoreline sediments destabilize. These landslides displace water instantly. Seiches, the name for waves that slosh back and forth across an enclosed body of water when it is disturbed. A seiche in Lake Tahoe generated by a major earthquake has been modeled. In specific scenarios, those models suggest waves of 30 feet or more could sweep across portions of the lake. Lake Tahoe is surrounded by residential development, tourist infrastructure, and major highways. The lake is one of the most visited tourist destinations in the western United States. Peak summer population in the Tahoe Basin exceeds 300,000 people. A Walker Lane rupture beneath or adjacent to Lake Tahoe is not a theoretical edge case. It is a documented geological possibility that the infrastructure and population of the Tahoe Basin is not specifically prepared for. But Lake Tahoe is only one consequence of Walker Lane rupturing at scale. The broader problem is the urban corridor the fault system runs directly through. Reno is the second largest city in Nevada. Carson City is the state capital. Between them, the metropolitan region holds over 600,000 residents. Both cities sit directly on or immediately adjacent to Walker Lane fault segments. The Carson City fault runs through the state capital, capable of magnitude 6.5 to 7.0. The Genoa fault runs through the broader region, capable of similar magnitudes. The faults feeding the April 14th swarm, the ones that produce the 5.7 main shock, are connected to this same larger system. Lyon County, where Silver Spring sits, is one of the fastest growing counties in Nevada. Rapid residential development in an area with known active seismic hazard. The infrastructure exposure is significant. Power systems feeding western Nevada, water delivery systems from the Sierra Snowpack, major highways carrying traffic between Reno, Carson City, and the Tahoe Basin. Bridges, aquifers, communication networks, all built to varying seismic standards over decades of construction. The April 14th swarm tested this system at moderate levels. Much of the infrastructure held, some of it didn't. The shelf collapses, the furniture displacement, The merchandise falling all represent minor failures at moderate shaking intensities. What a magnitude 6.5 or magnitude 7 earthquake would do to this same infrastructure is categorically different. The 2020 Monte Cristo range 6.5 occurred in a sparsely populated area. It caused damage but limited casualties because the location was rural. A comparable earthquake on the Carson City Fault or Genoa Fault would occur beneath populated urban infrastructure with no early warning system. That is the scenario seismologists are quietly preparing for, while the American public focuses almost entirely on California. The April 14, 2026 Silver Spring swarm is not an anomaly. It is Walker Lane behaving the way Walker Lane has always behaved, producing clusters of moderate earthquakes with occasional larger events, all accommodating the steady tectonic strain between the Pacific and North American plates. The long-term picture is specific. Nevada has averaged approximately 1 magnitude 7 or greater earthquake every 10 to 15 years historically. The 66-year gap between the 1954 Dixie Valley Fairview peak sequence and the 2020 Monte Cristo range earthquake was not a sign of stability. It was a gap. During those 66 years, Walker Lane continued accumulating strain. The 2020 event released some of that strain. Smaller releases have continued. April 14, 2026 is part of that ongoing pattern. What happens next on Walker Lane is a question of when, not if. The seismologists who study this system are not saying the next major event is imminent. They are saying the fault is active, the population exposed to it is large, and the infrastructure protecting that population is partially unprepared. They are saying Nevada needs an early warning system it does not currently have. They are saying residents need to treat this as earthquake country, the way Californians do. They are saying the attention paid to the San Andreas should be redirected, at least partially, to the fault system running directly through Nevada's fastest-growing urban region. The San Andreas will eventually rupture. The Cascadia subduction zone will eventually rupture. Every major American fault will eventually rupture. Walker Lane, though, Walker Lane ruptures frequently, and has been for as long as geologists have been monitoring it. This week, it produced a magnitude 5.7 that rattled western Nevada, triggered 90 earthquakes in 12 hours, and was felt all the way to San Francisco. The San Andreas gets the attention. Walker Lane does the work. And this week, it reminded everyone it is still doing it.